Hey everybody, happy 4th of July. I am actually pre-recording this video because on the 4th of July I will be in Alaska and not really sure what my timetable and service was going to be like, so I just wanted to go ahead and hop on here before I left. It's funny, I'm dressed like this because we had our 4th of July parade at school today, so I'm dressed for the occasion without even realizing it. I hope that you guys are having a great 4th. I hope that you guys are enjoying this challenge series so far. And most of all, I hope that you guys are feeling challenged, but feeling motivated to step outside your comfort zone and grow your business, maybe getting some ideas that you wouldn't have thought of before. So my topic today to train on and give you a challenge for is finding your one-liner. So I know we all know this business is all about meeting people, making connections, building relationships, and ultimately turning those relationships into a partnership in this business or, gaining a customer. But I think a lot of times we kind of get paralyzed and we get stuck because we think, okay, well, I know that I'm supposed to be talking to people about this, but what am I supposed to say? How do I bring up Rodan and Fields in a conversation? How do I get people interested in what I'm doing? And that's where a one-liner, just one short little sentence about what you do, is really going to come in handy. And so as I'm going through this video, and then after this video for your challenge, I really want you to be thinking about what is the one thing that you're going to say to people to get them interested in the business. So I know a lot of people just don't ever talk about Rodan and Fields because, maybe it feels awkward to bring it up or you don't know how to bring it up. So this is the way that I like to bring up Rodan and Fields, and this is the way that we want you to come up with your one-liner. So, you meet somebody new, you guys are chit-chatting, and eventually the question is going to come up, well, what do you do? And it's going to come up in every single conversation. That's just a staple question that people are going to ask you or that you're going to ask them. So when people say, what do you do? So there's your opening every single time. That's your in. So what are you going to say? How are you going to briefly tell them what you do without word vomiting all over them, yet make them intrigued and want to know more about your business? So I like to give the example of what my answer to that would be before I started Rodan and Fields. So 4 years ago, if someone would have said, what do you do? I would say, oh, I'm a pediatric physical therapist. I work at an outpatient clinic here in Tulsa. That's what I would say. That was my one-liner. And most often, almost always, someone would say, oh, well, where do you work? Or, that sounds interesting. Tell me more about that. I don't really know anything I didn't know there was such thing as a pediatric therapist. Or the question I always got after that was, oh, does that mean you work with kids like after a car accident or stuff like that? So that was a conversation starter for me. So now that I'm involved in Rodan and Fields, now my one-liner has become, oh, I'm a pediatric physical therapist and I also own my own skincare business. That's it. That's all I say. And that opens the door for them to ask me more questions. Now, I know that a lot of people will train to not even talk about your occupation or your profession and just to talk about Rodan and Fields. For me, that's hard just for me personally because I am very passionate about my career and I really do love my career. And I want people to ask me about that if that is something that they connect with. So I give people both things. I say I'm a therapist and I own my own skincare business, and I kind of let them choose which one they're interested in. Sometimes people will ask me about therapy, and sometimes people just go straight to asking me about my skincare company. So either way, I'm going to build a relationship with them. Either way, later on down the road, I can talk about Rodan and Fields. So the point is not to tell them everything you know about Rodan and Fields in that first conversation. The point is just to build a relationship, however that happens. So I think sometimes people feel pressured to tell them everything that they've ever learned about Rodan and Fields in that first conversation, and, you know, tell them about becoming a customer, and tell them how great the business is, and tell them how much money you're making, and tell them about earning a Lexus and the level 5 circle program and the kit reimbursement program and lead the way and all of this stuff. People feel obligated to say all of that stuff in the first conversation. But let's take that back to 4 years ago when I was a therapist. So this is what a word vomit answer would have sounded like then. Oh, hey, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm a pediatric physical therapist. I went to school for 4 years to get my undergrad degree, and then after that, I did 3 years of a graduate program. I did all of that at Arkansas State University. I have a doctorate degree now. In my last semester of PT school, I did 5 clinical rotations where I got experience in all these different areas. I did 3 pediatric clinical rotations. I did 1 in a hospital. I did 1 in outpatient. I really didn't like the 1 in outpatient that much, and the hospital one was my first one, and so I was kind of new and kind of scared, but I really loved the last 3 that were pediatric rotations, and I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. So when I graduated, I just got a job in pediatrics right out of school, and I love it. I've been working there for 3 years. I love my patients. I love my families. I love how challenging it is for me. You know, I get great bonuses. I have good vacation time, good benefits. Okay, when did you stop listening to me? Probably in the first sentence that I told you, or maybe the second. Maybe I held your attention until the second sentence. But that's what it sounds like when you try to tell people everything you know about Rodan and Fields in that first conversation. And it's just not necessary. All you need to do is just introduce them to what you do. You need to make that connection with them. You need to put that RNF bug in their ear. And then later, as you follow up with them, you're just naturally going to get to talk about Rodan and Fields more. Whether that means you're going to add them on Facebook and they're going to see your post there and you're going to follow up on Facebook, or whether, you know, this is a mom from your kid's soccer team and you're going to see her again next week at the soccer game. Whatever it is, you just want to plant that little seed, make that little connection, and then use the relationship to grow the opportunities that you're going to use to talk about the business. Sorry, I'm holding my phone up and my arm is shaking. So that's basically what this challenge is about. The challenge is about finding your one-liner that you're going to use to engage people in a conversation and plant that seed for Rodan and Fields. I think in the post, Nicole has posted what her one-liner is. I just told you what mine was. Oh, I'm a physical therapist and I own my own skincare business. That's short and sweet. That's mine. And so basically, your challenge for this next 48 hours is to come up with your one-liner and then use it. Go out, find some people, and use your one-liner. You're going to have to engage people in conversation and get them to ask, what do you do? Even if you need to say to them first, what do you do? And they'll reciprocate. So your challenge, find your one-liner, use it on 5 people in the next 48 hours, sorry. So find 5 people, tell them what you do, tell them your one-liner in the next 48 hours. Okay, good luck guys. You're gonna do great. I'm excited to see your progress through these next couple of weeks. Okay, bye.